welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Eagles offense so great last week, but they take a hit this week, don't they, Erin Andrews?
Yeah, big time. Wide receiver A.J. Brown, he popped up only on the injury report this week with a hamstring, so he's out. So is center Cam Jurgens and cornerback Adoree Jackson. Hey, Cam, this rematch, are the Eagles calling it a revenge game? How about safety Reed Blankenship saying, when you got your, tails kicked as bad as we did, I would say that's motivation. Nick Sirianni telling us his motivation, his team needs to execute and battle a lot better than they did in week 6.
Yeah, Giants beat them just 2 weeks ago, a rare in the NFL. You're playing them again 2 weeks as the first rematch of any divisional teams this year. Goes to the back a long way. Giants haven't won here in a long time, trying to change that. And here we go, NFL on Fox Week 8. Giants won the toss to third, and so the Eagles will get it first. They'll take it out from their 35-yard line, and without A.J. Brown and Cam Jurgens, as Aaron said, and we get a flag on this opening kickoff.
Flag is down.
Coming on out, set to run this offense. Never a great omen when you get a flag on the opening kick. That's a touchback. So
set the table for today. KB, a little.
No, not the way you want to begin. Brad Rogers, our referee.
Brad Rogers is our referee.
Illegal formation. Receiving team number 42 is not on the line. 5-yard penalty from the 35-yard line. It's first down.
All right, so the setup was wrong by Smile London, and Nick Sirianni will argue and we'll tell you about Jalen Hurts and how great he's been this year.
He sure has. On pace for career year in passing, best deep ball passer in the NFL. Done such a great job keeping plays alive with his legs. And then the best thing I think is just not turning the ball. You see the one interception right there. So these defenses have really loaded up to stop the run game. And the offensive passing game has responded with their pass catchers, with Jalen Hurts' decision-making. So we're picking up the flag here.
Oh, thank goodness. So it's unrest to begin the game.
Yeah, he's really answered the bell, Jalen Hurts, to me. He's obviously such a great winner. He's proven that with some incredible performances in Super Bowls. But he expects to win every time he takes the field. That's what I like most about him.
The Eagles are 5-2, Giants 2-5, but kind of a new era for New York and doing these rookies when they're on offense. But now it's Hurts and Saquon Barkley off to a slow start with this run game, as Tom said. From the 35. And looking to throw, pressure in his face. Steps away, fires on the run, incomplete. Trying to get it to Devontae Smith, but Tyler Nugent was there to make the play, and it's second down. So without the starting center in Jurgens, without A.J. Brown, we'll see some different names today. Brett Toth will get the start at center. He played last week when Jurgens went out, played the week before against the Giants when Dickerson was out. And then Jahan Dotson, who's the team's number 3 receiver, will get a lot of play. So will Grant Calcaterra, the backup tight end. He's been out the last couple weeks. See A.J. Brown hurt that hamstring. That last catch that sealed the game against Minnesota last week. Eagles go jumbo on second and 10. Here is Barkley, left side.
Got the first down, yes. He's going for it. He's going for it. The 20, the 10, touchdown, yes.
Good sign for the Giants defense. They've given up a lot of yards from the inside defense, and this is just a simple, call this a duo play. You get a bunch of double teams. Saquon reads it out the back door, and then Newman can't get him on the ground. The safety's job, that's why they call him safety. With the last line of defense, got to get him on the ground, and they couldn't do it there with Saquon.
Kick is up and good. Saquon Barkley has had 60 yards or less. Rushing 5 straight games. He rips off 65 yards at his first carry.
Oh, feels so good. The entire offensive line has been looking for this just to find out mojo. And they're there under center. They were under center much more last week. That's how they kind of want it to go. Keep that defensive line guessing a little bit. Is it run or pass? Thibodeau doesn't make the play. They can't slow him down at the defensive front. Saquon out the gate. I love seeing the receivers going there. Devontae Smith in there, he knew right away. Get that hand up, Springer. Springer with a touchdown block. And off to the races. What a feeling.
He had so many of those last year at Saquon. I mean, it was a home run threat waiting to happen. You see his first long one here today. Obviously a record from yards from scrimmage. He had 760-plus TDs last year. That's number one on this year. And so what a start for the Eagles in this rematch. And Jackson Dart says, all right, his first trip here to South Philadelphia. We'll get his chance in just a moment. Shifsky's got it. On the return for the Giants up to the 30 and out to the 31. And so we will see Jackson Dart. And he sat behind Russell Wilson for a couple games. And, you know, Tom, it's looked like he's belonged in these 4 starts.
Yeah, he's injected this youthful life into this team, and his energy, his excitement. I think everyone's feeding off it. The offensive line feeds off it. The defensive line feeds off it. They're watching him from the sideline, watching him make all these plays. And I think just tactically what he's done such a great job on third down, extending drives with his legs, making those loose plays, allowing that offense to get down the field and put themselves in position to score.
That's going to give the Scalabrine off there inside. He has been great. And Scalabrine pulls his way up to the 35 behind this Giants offensive line, which is playing pretty well these days. And they've run the ball a lot more with Scalabrine, who is a blast. I mean, he's basically a human battering ram. But he's having some big-time games. He had a 3-touchdown game against Philly 2 weeks ago. Giants get Darius Slayton back today. He's missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. That's good news in the wide receiver department. But again, penalty flag flies. Scalabrine up the middle.
Like it. Shallow fumble.
3 if it stands. Looks like it's going to be on the Giants.
Good. Yeah.
Offense number 82, lined up in the neutral zone at the snap. Not penalty, second down.
So we get Daniel Bellinger for lining up in the neutral zone. Giants have had penalty issues. They're the 5th most penalized team in the NFL.
That's it. Certainly for a team that's running the ball as much as you just can't get behind the sticks. And I'd say in the last 4 games, other than turnovers, getting behind the sticks has been a problem. Got to eliminate those unforced errors today. Woo!
Good start. Throw. Pressure. Steps away.
That's yes.
Jalen Sutton had a pick 6 last week in Minnesota, delivers his first sack.
They're trying on the bottom against Andrew Thomas, who hasn't given up a sack all season, but just the effort to trace back when he doesn't get him on the initial move. And Jackson Dart has not been caught from behind very much, but with this athletic defensive line, he's got to be aware of those guys behind him all day long.
Officially, it does not go down as sack as Dart got back to the line of scrimmage. So we'll call it 3rd and 10.
Did not get the first down. Yes.
Absolutely perfect start for this Philadelphia team playing at home. Now their crowd is into it. Saquon looking like he did last year. The defense 3 now. They are trying to forget what happened to them 2 weeks ago in the Meadowlands.
Yeah, different start, no doubt. Xavier Gibson back deep to receive on the Jamie Gillen punt. Gibson calls for a catch and makes it up about the 25. And so Saquon and the Eagles off to a racing start. 60. New week here. Off to a tough start with a big Saquon Barkley 65-yard touchdown. Second possession for the Eagles. to Barkley again on the left side. And spins around and scoots his way up to about the 34-5-yard run. So now this Giants defense, and we told you who the Eagles are missing. Well, the Giants secondary is big time depleted today. They are without their starting safety, Javon Holland, and the starting top corner, Paulson Adebo. That is a problem, especially communication-wise.
Well, that's all a problem. I think the number one problem I've seen today already is the run defense, and they've got to shore that up quickly. They have not done a very good job in their run defense all year. They're giving up 5-3 a carry. This offense will run the ball all day long if you continue to run down. They got to do better than 5 yards a clip.
Only one wide receiver here, so they run it.
Got the first down. Yes.
Barely gets any play in the backfield. That's with one carry all year. That time delivered 17.
Expecting Thibodeau on the outside to set the edge and keep the entire front. I'm sorry, that's Burns. Trying to keep Bigsby inside. There's no one out there on the perimeter, so if you don't set the edge, and that means funnel the ball back into the interior D-line, the running back just runs outside until he gets tired.
Bigsby stays in.
Rouse is lost with the first down. Hold on, this is like 2 yards.
Quarterback. We'll see how this all holds up.
Holding
Coming back.
offense, number 65. Penalty, still first down.
Get it on Lane Johnson, who was working against Abdul Carter that time.
Yeah, and that just speed off the edge on Abdul Carter. Lane just couldn't get the good initial kick step. So he went for the tackle. He said it's a good tackle, just not good in pass blocking.
Right, exactly. Lane Johnson's still one of the best, if not the best, right tackle. And Carter, the Giants' #1 overall pick, 3rd overall. He only has a half a sack, but he's got 19 quick pressures, which leads the NFL, actually. So he's had some big moments. It's first and long. Barkley picked the ball all the way up to the 46-yard line, gaping hole so far for this run game. And Nick Sirianni in his 5th year, Super Bowl, 2 appearances, 1 win last year. And he's 4-0 against the Giants at home, and the Giants haven't won here in a millennium, it feels like. They've lost 12 straight in Philadelphia.
And you got to shore up this run defense and this run offense that we said is a bit maligned this year. Saquon just has not been able to get to the second level of defense before he's gotten hit. And what you've seen here early, he is getting through the initial line of scrimmage. And once he's there, he's so dangerous because he's impossible to bring down the open field.
Center screen, Barkley. He's got some blocks. Barkley, nice cut.
Got another first down. Yes.
First to 20, and they turn it into a quick first down. And Barkley heavily involved early.
Nice job by Kevin Petula, the offensive coordinator. You get this really difficult pass rush defensive front that's looking for sacks, and one way to slow all those guys down is screen them. You build these plays into your game plan when you know you don't still have to deal with Burns, you got to deal with Lawrence, you got to deal with Carter, you got to deal with everybody. So every play as an offensive play caller, you are conscious of that rush, and it's factored into every play call you make today.
There's Sam Bigsby. And his stacked up well by the Giants. Abdul Carter was right there.
Sometimes what happens when you only have one good rusher, you can dedicate portions of your offensive line to that player. When you've got 4 good pass rushers, like the Giants do, it's more of a game planning situation that Petula has to get into. The best thing you can do is run the ball, because then they never get a chance to pass rush, and that's really where this Giants defense has kind of fumbled this year. They haven't been able to get them in the must-pass situations where they can unleash those guys to the quarterback.
Yeah, and the flip side is the Eagles have been really not good on 1st and 2nd down. They've got the most 3-and-outs in the league because of it. Obviously today, better. Bill Shipley in the game running back, so they're using every running back early. In trouble, runs away. Jalen Hurts, good move, stays on his feet down to the 35-yard line. So Hurts Hasn't run as much this year, picks up 7 yards.
Still, obviously a threat to do it because he's such a powerful runner. And he always has these good instincts in the pocket. Whenever I watch him play, it's like the D-line's almost there to get him. And then, nope, he just squirts away and they can't quite get him just like that. So that dual threat for him is still very viable.
Yeah, makes it a 3rd and 3. And this is what Nick Sirianni was talking about. We've had so many 3rd and longs and had these situations on this offense.
Important play, and this is when they usually get a lot of man coverage. This tends to be their best man player down here, Devontae Smith today with A.J. Brown out.
That's way back there. Looking, has a way to go, and he's not going to get there. Giants played it well. Okereke saw it, knocked him out of bounds, and now it's 4th down. The Eagles go for it as much as anybody, and they're going to keep the offense out there.
Just a huge stop here that the Giants are going to need here early in the game. You never want to go on the road in the first quarter, 10 minutes in the game, be down 2 scores. So, you know, it's early, but a hugely important play for the confidence of this defense as well.
False start.
The Eagles might be moving back here. Let's see. Tyler Steen.
Ball start. Hopkins, number 64. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So that'll change the thinking. They get Toth instead on the penalty. And instead of 4th and 3, it's 4th and 8. And they will change up the strategy. They'll bring on Jake Elliott now for a long field goal. Elliott's having a good year, as usual, reliable self. His long this year is 58. This one also from 58 yards out. He was getting one from 57, so he's right in the wheelhouse. Elliott boots it up and
No good.
no good.
Now you see me, now you told me we should see the theaters November 14th.
November 4th, Doc is all new.
You do this myself. I need to find out what's going on.
Doc, you do Tuesday, November 1st. What?
on Fox is sponsored by Wendy's new Frosty flavors.
Well, Nick Sirianni was so hot during the break because there was clearly a whistle during that play. It turns out there was not a flag. Listen in. Obviously, you're not supposed to hear a whistle on a field goal from midair. DiBlandino, what exactly happened there?
Absolutely. If the officials blew the whistle during the play, that's an erroneous whistle, and really you should redo it. I think that's what Coach Sirianni was upset about. We just don't know where the whistle came from.
Yeah, couldn't tell that. There was no flag thrown, and that's what the confusion is, that this is thrown mid-kick. However you slice it, the Giants on a big 4th down get the penalty in this field goal, and they get it back only down 7. And here's Darrell, pressure. Steps away, Darrell takes a couple hits, and then finally taken down for a sack. And we welcome in Tom Rinaldi.
I can't wait to go out there and feel the hostility in the air. That's what Jackson Dart said about making his first ever start here in Philadelphia. He felt some hostility there, obviously being slammed down to the turf. He compared it to rivalries that he would face in Georgia, Alabama, and the SEC. That's the swag that's associated with it as he came on out to the bench. Believe me, the hostility is loud and real behind that bench right now, guys, and from the Eagles front.
Yeah, they don't love you if you don't play for the Birds here in town, that's for sure. They're scattered around from there and scandalous with you. Although I'll tell you what, walking out of time with you today, Tom Brady chants. You don't think you hear that in Philadelphia?
I never did. I mean, the city of brotherly love. Are you kidding me?
It's embraced.
Everybody from Philly knows that the city of brotherly love is the most sarcastic nickname in all of football. But yes, they have been so great to me, and they should feel great about me kicking my butt in the Super Bowl and Super Bowl 52.
They won't be great to Jacksonville.
No. He's going to feel all that hostility today.
37. Four-man rush. They're trying to make it happen with his legs. Dark Millman, and he slides down. Will they mark him down? That was close. So close. It looks like he's going to get a good spot and have it.
That's right when you decide to slide against their mark and they give him the first down. And this is the one area that we did mention in the pregame. His scrambling on third down to extend drives is kind of the one thing I've watched on film that's been different when he's been in the game. Extending drives, this gives them now a chance to give the ball to Scatterboo more in the run game, and those two together, and this kind of dynamic playmaking has been so important for this offense to score points.
Bouncing on people like he usually does, and turns nothing into something to pick up 5. Hey, play the Fox Super 6 NFL Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now. Enter for free for a shot to win your share of $10,000 in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for all the details. Inside the 20. Good to have him back. He missed the last 2 games with a hamstring, and without Malik Neighbors, who's out for the year, he's a big piece.
Yeah, very simple route concept. This is a diagonal from the inside and a slant from the outside. Very easy for the quarterback to read. All that space with Dejeen Dark makes a very decisive throw. See it and then fire it and cut it loose. Good sign there early in the game.
Protected play. And it's caught for the touchdown. Dark beat the blitz. Scatterboo on the receiving end. The Giants
Got the ball.
Wait a minute, he's a runner and a pass catcher? Oh, yes, he is. There he is right in the backfield, one-on-one with the outside linebacker, Johnson, and can't keep up with him. He's got to be too quick, too elusive, got great hands. The dynamic duo back at it, getting him right back on the board.
His second receiving TD on the year. Scatterboo, I'll tell you what, remember he started the year barely playing. He's got 7 touchdowns. Combined already. Here's Graham Gano, who's also back. Missed a month with a groin injury, and that extra point is up and good. So the rookies, which have given the Giants so much life, taking on the amateur for the game. Jackson Dart finds King Scatterboo for an 18-yard touchdown reception. Giants have scored a touchdown in each of the last 9 quarters now, and these 2 rookies have been a big part of it. And think about that important early part of the game. 4th and 3, Eagles had to get a penalty to make it 4th and 8. Then a 58-yard field goal hits off the post. Giants get it back, drive down, score a touchdown. Chance to really feel of this one. Will Shipper on the return. Shipper up, big return. Oh, good one. Up across the 45, goes out to 47. Tom, back to the touchdown. How did Scatterboo get so open?
Yeah, very creative play design. You got the rush by Dean, which frees up Johnson to be in coverage. This is a rail route. He always is supposed to run outside of the defensive end. But when he feels the defensive end runs with that kind of speed, he slips in, which is a veteran move. That's like a James White sweep beat move that I would expect. Make a good decision when you feel him overrun it, slip him, and then make it an easy touchdown. Some great football for some young players.
Like they've been playing together for a long time. Eagles get it back after that big return from Shipper. It is Barkley. And into Giants territory he goes. We're talking about the run game, and people were wondering what's going on with this Eagles run game. Is it Saquon? Is the offensive line? But you were telling me it's kind of been everything, right?
It's been a lot of things. And you have these magical years, which everyone just expects you to come up and have another magical year, 2,000 yards rushing. But every year is different. Now what you're seeing from the defenses, they're loading up to try to stop the run. And not to mention, they haven't had the same offensive line continuity. Tosin there today at center. Steed's in there, he's very athletic, but he's not the man-child that Mekhi Becton was last year. Landon Dickerson here fights some injuries. So a little continuity issues, a little scheme issues, and defense is gearing up to stop it has forced them to adjust.
Pass this time going over to Gibson, who's got some great speed. Popped out of bounds. Trying to throw him over from Drew Phillips, the nickelback. Nicely done over on 3rd down. Yeah, like what you said, Barkley's still making people miss, but a little different this time.
Yeah, because last year he was getting through that first line of defense. Then he would make a linebacker miss, and then he's down into the secondary. This year, the defensive line are showing up on him. That first level of defense is penetrating the line of scrimmage, forcing Saquon to stop, then adjust his movements, and then the linebackers are going to clean him up. So, very different run style that I've seen from him this season.
There's Okereke, short-handed tackler. Kind of back where we started. It would be a 4th down and about 3. And they're going to stay with the offense and go for it.
Got an opportunity to try to just draw them off sides. That's one form they could try, or be super aggressive and go for it here early in the game.
You got the first down, yes.
With pass rush discipline, when you rush him, at some point you have to try to build the wall. And it's a challenging thing for a defensive lineman because you want to be aggressive to get the sack. So you kind of take an edge on one of your linemen, but then you expose that open lane for such an elusive runner like Jalen to run.
Multiple flags. Big conversation.
I'll start. Offense on number 69. The defender was not in the neutral zone. Still will be first down.
So Eagles will move it on back. And the clock winds down this first quarter. Fun one from Philadelphia. Giants and Eagles all tied up at 7.
Penn State was Ohio State duties.
That's first quarter stats.
Landon Dickerson,
65-yard touchdown run, the second play of the game. Giants answered back with a Jackson Dart to Cam Scatterbroo touchdown reception. And so they're tied at 7. Starting the second quarter, glad to have you aboard. There's Shane Bowen, the Giants defensive coordinator, who took some heat this week, but it wasn't just him. I mean, they blew a 19-point fourth quarter lead. A lot of errors in that one. Turnover killed them in a game they obviously should have won. Eagles have a first and 15 to start this second quarter.
Got the first down, yes.
For 26 yards.
There's one little cue when you watch Saquon looking right and he's looking at his protection. It's probably not a run when he's scanning his eyes like that. He knows he's got to pick up. This is just what we call a drift concept or a pop pass. Hard sell, play action fake. The linebackers step up in the line of scrimmage, and then you get this all-pro receiver, Devontae Smith, behind him. Easy throw and catch.
Devontae Smith had a monster week last week. Career high 183 yards, including a 79-yard touchdown. Turns again, right to Glover. He's looking for Smith again, but a little high on the throw.
Almost the exact same play they threw last week to A.J. Brown for a touchdown. A little different coverage. It's called a topper route. 2 posts. It's got the outside post, and there's Burns. Cannot afford to have him out for too long. Stayed out of the blue tent. Just put me on the bench, coach. So we got to worry.
He was banged up this week. Hip and ankle injuries. Hopefully getting back in the game. He leads the league in sacks. I think they've had their moments this year. I think Giants fans are like, man, this line's supposed to be amazing. They've been good, but they're inconsistent, right?
Well, they just haven't been able to tee off on what they're great at, because you're thinking of Burns with 9 sacks and Dexter Lawrence, who had such 9 sacks last year, doesn't have any this year. And this third overall pick, Abdul Carter, his ability to rush faster, but you've got to get him in passing situations. And because they've struggled to stop the run, certainly the inside runs, it just doesn't allow them to tee off and make those impactful turnover-worthy plays.
So Burns back on the field for the Giants with his 9 sacks. Here's Hurts at 31. A lot of time. Hurts. And finally going to take off now. Hurts racing for the first down. Right here. We'll see what they do. He looks like a spot. As Burns was able to chase him and hit him. Now we'll see where they officially put it down. It looked like from here that he got it. You see,
there's no way that should be a, unnecessary roughness on the defense.
They throw a flag. It was inbound.
Well, he's going for it on 3rd down, and he's still in bounds.
After replay assist, there is no foul, so the quarterback being hit out of bounds.
I mean, I just think the aggressiveness of the runner, you got to allow the defense to be aggressive too. So just a good call. And I love when the quarterback's going to escape and scramble. And here he is trying to cage around the pocket. And then Hurts gets out. And he's just a running back at this point. And that defender has every chance to get Carter did a good job of that.
And then they marked it short, Tom. So I'll take 4th down, which is interesting. I wonder if Sirianni is thinking about challenging this. I thought first glance he had it. So now they get into the tush push.
Here we go, purple. Go to 10. That's it. Let's go. Go to 10. Come on. Blood. Go to 10.
Tush push. Hurts. Leads forward. Ball taken away from Payton.
No!
Did they blow the whistle? It looks like they did. You can't reach the ball forward unless you're at the goal line. It's a live ball when you do that. Oh. Well, there's a lot there. I thought he had the first down initially, first of all. Dean, that's a live ball, right?
They're ruling forward progress. To me, he is pushing forward. He is reaching. That is an early whistle, in my opinion.
Oh my God. They defend it, and they get the fumble, but
He got the first down. Yes.
Yeah, that's tough. That should be a fumble. I mean, again, when you're at the goal line, and now there's a timeout on the field. Just Brian Daboll saying, what's going on here? If this is the goal line, that's a touchdown, right? You're allowed to do it. But when in this situation, when you're reaching for a first down, it is a live ball.
he's definitely not down. And I think part of the problem that we discussed in passing, it's hard to officiate, which is the challenge with the play. He is very much still up and reaching out. Thibodeau makes a great play, seeing the ball and snatching away from him.
And the key here is they ruled progress. The Giants can't challenge. They could, but that ball would have to come out immediately.
Because you don't know on a replay when the whistle was blown. You can't challenge that part of it, right? So,
but then, of course, why do you blow the whistle, Dean? Is that just part of the officiating issue with this play?
That's part of the issue. It's part of the issue with all short yardage plays. But again, you want to see his progress stop before you kill it.
There's been a lot of discussion. The coaches have not been super happy with some of the calls. And the whistle seemed like that was after it. You see Daboll is hot, rightfully so. So Sirianni was with it because the whistle blew and the Eagles field goal miss, which that play should have been blown dead and done again. And now Daboll's got one. He said that should be a fumble, and I think both were right.
We ruled forward progress on the play for a first down. New York had challenged the play. I explained to them that since we ruled forward progress,
There was no challenge on the play. It will be first down, Philadelphia.
So after all of that, first down for the Eagles. Now, Dable throwing a challenge flag here. What is he going to challenge? You can't challenge forward progress. Dean, what can he challenge here?
The only thing he can challenge is that the ball came out upon immediate contact by the defense.
All right, so I think we will have a challenge, and we'll go and figure this whole situation out. Maybe, possible. You know me, back after this.
What is psyching each other out?
So much sports at stake. One duel could change the game.
There are no friends on the floor.
Look for all new November 5th on Fox.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Well, both coaches not happy with the officiating today. It has a rhythm of like an Elaine Banish.
The New York Giants had Colts off in timeout.
It's been all out of whack. After everything, Giants lose the challenge and they lose the timeout. It's first and goal for the Eagles inside their own 10, and will resume play here. Here it is, Parker looking for a seam. Not much. Giants stacked it up well there. Raheem Roches, your former teammate. And they lovingly call Nacho on the stop of the play on a second down.
Oh, yeah, Nacho showing that juice. That's what he did in practice. The first day of training camp when he would stop run plays. Talk about infectious. Get guys like that, bringing the juice, bringing the energy. Look at it. Oh, yeah, even as he runs off the field. Look at everyone fired up. Keep bringing it, Nacho.
Second and goal. Blitz coming.
Touchdown, yes.
But Thibodeau doesn't, and no one's on Saquon. That's pretty easy.
About as easy as it gets. So Saquon Barkley having his best game of the year. 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. And the Eagles jump back in front as Elliott point after is up and good. So a little controversy. That's so good. The old school Kelly Green back in effect. The throwback uniforms and the logos today brings you back to just good stuff here in Philadelphia. And an old school NFC East battle today. The Giants beat the Eagles 2 weeks ago in the Meadowlands, and now Eagles up 14-7 in this one. 2 Saquon Barkley touchdowns, having his best day of the early season. And the kick returned by Olszewski. Across the 30. So the Eagles are choosing the old school flavor. The Giants bringing the new school flavor with Cam Scanabu. Look at the bottom left of this picture at the Knicks game. That is the Giants starting running back. That is amazing. Amazing.
He is having the time of his life. And look at that. That's how he just, his little touchdown dance. Oh my goodness. All that juice that he's brought to this team. It's infectious. And it means a lot. Let's see if they can ride these young guys today in a tough environment.
It's just so good. And he's performed well, too. And he gets a breather as Tyrone Tracy starts his drive in the backfield for New York. They give it to Tracy. A long touchdown run last week. But he's going to swarm by Kobe. Happy to have Kobe Dean back. That difficult patellar tear and the knee tear in the playoffs last year. Came back a couple weeks ago, but didn't play on D. Played a lot last week, and they're kind of welcoming him back in.
What a player he is, and never thought that was such a big deal when they lost him last year. They tried to replace him, and they drafted Jahad Campbell, but man, he's come back with a vengeance.
Steps away from pressure, now he's in trouble. Hunt on him, Dart, reversing field, looking, throwing. Wow, Dart did a lot of running for about an 8-yard completion, but that was well done to Slayton.
And Blankenship, the safety recovers like, how long do I have to cover this guy for? Here's Blankenship, the half-field safety. He ends up being the pass defense, but it's so covered, so Dart using the legs and the powerful legs that he has to extend, and ends up finding Slayton on the sideline. It's a lot of yards traveled for an 8-yard game.
And it brings up a 3rd down and 2. Near side, Texas got first down. Cairo Tracy. You know, he got hurt, and then Scattergood got all the opportunities, kind of took over the starting job. He had a shoulder separation against the Chiefs, but it's kind of a nice 1-2 punch now with him back.
Yeah, very great, especially as a pass catcher. So Scattergood doesn't have to go the distance, and they transition to more of Scattergood having most of the play time, but Tracy comes in there, and you're not missing much. You're missing the power, but you're not missing some of the playmaking.
Yeah, Tracy's a former wide receiver who turned into a running back, so he's got that skill set. Third down conversion. First down, here they go. Tracy into Eagles territory. We've got our first game right. Let's say hello to Carissa Thompson.
Hello, Kevin. Ravens still without Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry going to walk this one in for the score. He now passes the legend Walter Payton for 5th all-time in rushing touchdowns. Ravens lead this one 7-6 over the Bears. Kev?
Wow, that's a momentous occasion past Walter Payton. Bears have won 4 in a row all of a sudden, by the way.
Yeah, 3 turnovers in 4 straight games, or 3 turnovers in 3 straight games. That's really leads a lot of teams to win. You get that turnover margin up, and both these teams have talked about turnover margins today. They've got to protect the ball.
Tracy flies in. Tracy will be about a yard short right now. See what the penalty is.
Oh, we got some pushing shoving going on.
So
There's Tracy running with some power too. So how does Scattergood be affecting Tracy's run style? It's like I said, it's infectious. You come in there with that juice and that attitude running through people. Tracy sees it as well.
Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty for spot of the foul. Second down.
Quite early on Mukuba. No, I don't know. He's already going down. That's kind of a weak call.
Yeah, don't think that affected anything, but move it on back. Take away the next play. These coaches and officials going to go out for dinner later, or
there's definitely going to be some pleasantries explained at halftime. See, that's what you're doing out there. Let them play. Let them play.
Second down, Scattergood back in the game for the Giants. Eagles check blitz with Brown as an edge rusher. Play clock winding down and winding down to 0, and Giants will move it back.
Play again. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Go second down.
They're just trying to manipulate their front a little bit and screw up the communication between Darts and
left side.
When you shift those guys around, the quarterback's got to kind of resituate the pass protection. And sometimes the rookie quarterback forgets the play clock. And it just kind of winds it down. And, you know, it's a good solid play there by the Eagles defense.
Second and long. Pressure up the middle, throws. Incomplete. Eagles keep 3 and start up the middle. I think it was Zach Ball that time. He was on the coverage, and Scattergood was slowing it up. Oh, that was ankle.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
For injury.
Just Dart's reaction alone.
Oh.
Oh, goodness. Giants players, Eagles players on their knees. Terrible scene. Injury timeout.
Don't hurt him,
I love
kid.
the injury timeouts.
Really a brutal scene here in Philadelphia as Cam Skattebo gets a standing ovation going off. His teammates coming up to dap him up, and an injury we're not going to show you. It's not pretty. It just stinks. This kid has brought so much life and great play to the Giants. This is a scene just before we came back. They put the wrap and the boot on his leg, and he was fired up trying to get his guys going.
Jackson, tough on defensive players, and yeah, he's resilient. He's going to come back. It's a tough loss. It's a huge blow for this team. Scott Bard have been a part of this team the last 4 weeks. It's been tough to overcome that one.
And he was on a 3rd and 16. Dart, pressure, going deep, looking for Slade. Good try, but incomplete. On his hand down, but Quinion Mitchell on him like glue. And the Giants are off to punt it away.
Tough to even rebound on that second down play to sit out and then come back and convert a 3rd and long. Great throw down the field, picking Slade on Quinion Mitchell. The standout corner, 1-on-1. Slade's been out with a hamstring injury. Finds a little separation. Bard makes a great throw and a little deflated. I think the entire sideline, as you would expect for the Giants, is going to be reeling for a little bit until they get in at halftime.
And some movement. I think the Eagles jump, but it's 4th and 16, so it'll make it 4th and 11. How do you recover from that emotionally? I mean, it's so hard as you got to go run the next play.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 36, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
I don't think anyone can ever discount the emotional toll that happens from a player coaching standpoint
Lots
on a play-to-play basis. And when you have this type of hope for what these 2 young guys have brought to this team and the exuberance that you've seen, you realize, okay, where are we going to get that from now? And now Dart's got to pick it up all by himself, but he doesn't have his running mate there with him. So yeah, this is one game they're going to be dealing with this for the rest of the season, but at the same time, they still got a really tough one on their hands today. So, well, when you get that long 65-yard touchdown run by Saquon, that's bringing a lot of life back into this unit. And I think we've seen them in the last 3 weeks, almost 280, 300 yards passing. They're developing a lot of confidence in their pass game. So now if they reintegrate this run game, which was so special last year, they're nearly impossible to stop. And they found different forms of offense to run. Under center a lot last week, now some in the shotgun. Definitely changing it up on these defenses from week to week.
Jet right, jet right, jet right, jet right, jet right, jet right.
Yeah, I love hearing these quarterbacks manipulate the pass protection. Doesn't like what he sees. Usually jet right. Means they get the slide to the left. They get their blitz pick up right. And then just checks it down to Saquon. But again, it's about the quarterback having autonomy to get the protection right, get the route combinations right. You grow as a quarterback, you want more of that autonomy, because you really want to be the field generator. That's what you want to be.
A lot of times you hear the center making those calls in times past. And I know you want the quarterback to make it.
The quarterback's got to be the field generator to get everybody seeing the game through one side.
Davidson on the tip pass makes the tackle, brings up 3rd down. Hey, World Series going back to LA, all tied at 1. Blue Jays and Dodgers, it's been fun. Toronto on their backs in game 1, and then Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a complete game, absolute gem last night. Starting pitching is back. And so we head to the West Coast for the defending champs. Try to do it again against the leader of the 4th round.
Can you say his name 3 times fast, Kevin?
I had to say it a lot in post game because he didn't allow the guy to reach base.
That's a lot of syllables.
He's been amazing.
If anybody could pull off, it is you. Just being your partner. There's not much you can't do. Baseball last night, in the morning, 4 a.m. around one out here on set today. Pretty amazing, Jay. Good job.
Appreciate it. It's our team's in deep trouble. Giants get home. Their 2nd sack today, and it is Brian Burns, who had some help in there as well.
Very good pass rush. They got Burns lined up as a linebacker, and then this young Abdul Carter. You see Burns at linebacker level, but he's really the one, Abdul Carter. He's got a lot of pressures, not a lot of sacks, working on dindos, and he's the one that flushes him up into the pocket, and good team defense. All those white jerseys meeting at the point. We need a lot more of that today.
Yeah, Burns, 10 sacks, leads the NFL right now. The Carter should get credit for that. Now man to punt away. Spiraling kick. Olszewski calls for a catch. And dead still at the 34. So see if the Giants can regroup emotionally. They're down by 7 and get it back with 6:13 to go in this first half.
Fox Tuesday. It's a night of murder and mystery.
I saw the bear tearing at her.
First, an all-new murder in a small town. Then, an unforgettable new episode of Doc.
Did this one solve? I need to find out what's going on.
Murder in a small town, followed by Doc. All new Tuesday, November 4th on Fox.
Well, welcome back here to Philadelphia. That somber scene. Cam Scatterby had electrified this Giants franchise. You see him raising that hand up here after that terrible lower leg injury. It has taken all of the air out of what is typically a very hostile atmosphere. He received a standing ovation, and then Jackson Dart, who has such a tight bond, consoled by a lot of different players. Russell Winston coming up to him. Jameis Winston, you could see guys supporting him and telling him, we know how close you are, but now you got to move forward and lead this offense. Just a devastating and tough scene, challenging the Giants here to move forward, guys.
Yeah, it's not easy, and I think, Tom Noe knows this. You do in that position. The reality is, you got to get past emotionally. If you're down 7 on the road against a division opponent, and you're in decent shape, game-wise. So there's a pretty big drive coming up right here with 6:13 to go in the half as Tracy takes over for Scatterby full-time on the backfield. And he will get the right side of that block to lead Blankenship, but nice start, 6 yards for Tracy.
Yeah, again, that emotional aspect is challenging. I had games where I lost Wes Welker on the ACL in the end of 2009 and Gronkowski in 2013. And it hurts. Your boy's not out there with you, but you got to find a way to move on, and you got to try to compartmentalize the best way you can and realize the task at hand is tough enough as it is.
Stick with the run, and Tracy has a first down. It's one thing they've done, and obviously Scatterby was a big part of it, but since they started Jackson Dart, it's been a big commitment to the run. Matter of fact, second most in the league they've run it since they started the rookie quarterback.
That's been definitely a change in philosophy, using more tight ends in the run game. You see both of them up here on the top. And now this is part of their formula too. They kind of rush to the line, and they call this Pacino, Oscar, be a good actor. And force the defense to line up, and then I'm going to call a play once I see how the defense is aligned. It's a way that the coach can try to get the quarterback in the best possible way.
Daniel Bellinger had a lot more time with the injured Malik Neighbors. He had a big game last week with a 44-yard touchdown, and he delivers there into the first.
Just got a little flag route, sit, diagonal. Classic combination. Everyone's been running this since high school. When they jump on the short route like Ringo did, Bellinger opens up behind it. That Dart's probably thrown out 1,000 times in his life. Maybe 10,000 by the end of his career.
So I want to go back to what you're saying about the play. So kind of know huddle, they get him to the line, he observes, and then they call the play.
So yeah, you rush to the line, and there's Peyton Manning who's going on delay. Get on the ball, I'm going to delay the cadence. A lot of teams have different verbiage. We called it Oscar. Be a good actor. Get to the line, just like this, forces the defense to line up, and then the coach can select, based on what he sees the defense doing, the best offensive play possible.
Guard, little fake. I don't know if this is a busted play or not, but he gets eaten alive by Jordan Davis.
And I give Dable a lot of credit to these nuances of offense, and he had Josh Allen as a young quarterback. But Jackson Dart reminds me a lot of a young Josh Allen, and this development within this system to understand and put the autonomy on the quarterback, protections, run schemes, route concepts, no huddle packages. This is absolutely the right way to develop a young quarterback. Jackson Dart's in a great position to succeed for this club.
Got 4 and 6 here. They bring on Dylan Singletary in the backfield. Helps his rookie quarterback. Second timeout for the Giants. With that, we'll be right back after this.
Timeout's called by Giants. That's coach.
And look, you kind of on 4-down territory too. If you get 3 or 4 here, you wouldn't be surprised if the Giants go for that. A lot of options at their disposal. Pressure at the middle. Dart. Flips one. Incomplete, but it was right in there. Theo Johnson would have been tough, but he had a chance, and they could not make the connection, and here comes the field goal team. Absolutely perfect throw. A+. Finding Theo Johnson, the one guy on his team, he said, we spend so much time together, and that is a god. And maybe he feels the presence by Blankenship coming over, but Johnson's got to make those plays. You know he's going on all-pro linebacker and Bond. That is one you've got to come down with against this division rival.
Graham Gano out month with a groin injury. His first field goal try for 47 is up and good. So Gano is back. Giants within 4 with 2:53 to go. And we'll be right back after this message from A Diamond is Forever.
From the very beginning, you knew she was unlike anyone else. And
So the good news is Graham Gano, they were a little curious about him with a groin injury, and they had to leave the game earlier this year. They had to kick with Gillen and punter, but that looked good for 47. The Giants kind of weathered the storm here. They're down 4. 2:53 to go. And, this is why if you're a Giants fan, you're like, well, you don't love to see the side's going out on the IR for 1.
Doesn't give many people a lot of confidence. I looked over here with Saj like, are we okay over there? But it seems just fine.
Here's simply on the return. It's maneuver. Triple A. 41-yard return over, and this one is just as good. Giving the Eagles a little life on those kick returns, which they've had trouble with all year long. Saquon Barkley's had his best first half of the year. He had a 65-yard touchdown run. He's got 86 yards rushing and a touchdown, and also has a receiving touchdown today. First 100-yard scrimmage game of the year for him. Jalen Hurts also playing well again. Just 50 yards, 5 of 8, and a touchdown. Eagles plenty of time in this right structure.
Got the first down, yes.
Just called a counter OT. The center pulls, tackle pulls, leading the way, getting to the edge. See the center coming out toe. Lane Johnson, how would you like to be Deontay Banks right there with Lane Johnson? I would just try to find a wormhole and just dive underneath it like a ground run. The way you're good.
As I say, not great.
Not great. The mosquito in the windshield analogy, you're the mosquito at that point.
Barkley's over 100 yards rushing on the day as Rubensow went on the tackle, and we will hit the 2-minute warning from Philadelphia.
So we were freshmen together at Michigan. I remember in the freshman locker room, he took his shirt off. It was my first day, and I was like, oh my God, is that what a college football player is supposed to look like? He still looks like it today. He does. Here's Barkley. Spinning and twirling his way.
Got the first down, yes.
Good day running for this Eagles ground game, which has been really quiet the entire year. They've got all kinds of time, all 3 timeouts for them. They're approaching 150 rush yards in this first half.
Got the first down, yes.
Absolutely. First strike right there, Devontae Smith. We talked to him this week, and I said, Devontae, would you rather get open on Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean? He goes, I'd rather be outside on Quinyon Mitchell, running that stop route, which is the exact route that he just caught there on fly. We had so much fun talking to Devontae Smith. And again, he sees himself as a wide receiver one right there. Slot down, but great hands, snatching that ball backward. We talked about his experience at Alabama.
It looked like the Giants were going for like that peanut punch, and Flock got punched by his own teammate. Oh man, Bobby Okereke, I think, got him. I mean, the Giants are really decimated.
Yeah, we got your sweet timeout to the field.
He got literally punched in the face by Bobby Okereke.
Oh! It's just like John Jones would be proud of that punch right there.
Goodness. So the Giants ultra thin at secondary right now. Deontay Banks in the game. The first 2-10, Jalen Hurts to throw it. Barkley in the front, looking for a room, and spins his way down to about the 10. Maybe the 11. They'll give him a few there as Newman in on the stop.
Still, no urgency from the Eagles with 3 timeouts. I wouldn't mind them using one of them right now, just to at least settle things down. Giants do everything they can to do. Keep things in front of them and limit this drive to a field goal for the Eagles.
Giants have Corey Hoyt in the cornerback when we get movement.
A false start.
And pointing Thibodeau against the Lawrence, it says, come on.
A little flinch by Lotta.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 5.
Yes!
It looks like the left tackle moves. Let's see my Lotta.
He did.
Keep the streak alive for these refs today. Over. The refs being slumped in. Getting good.
Hoping they break out of this one.
As a player, they sub you up, but they really can't sub you as a ref.
Yeah, it's tough to go. 2nd and 2. Corey up front remains out of the game. 25 seconds to go in this half.
Timeout called by Jalen Hurts.
Okay. You know, this is a weird game. Yeah, it's 14-10. I think we've seen some good plays. Both quarterbacks are not lighting it up, but they've been really, really efficient. Kind of hard to classify this first half.
I just think choppy. Choppy with the flags, choppy with the injuries. Both teams are a little bit out of sync. We kind of were expecting this pass game from the Eagles, but it's been more run game. We have seen Jackson Dart make some nice plays, which is typically he's been doing that. But yeah, the Giants need a big stop here. They got to try to limit this to 3 points. Go in there, one score, they get the ball coming out of half. A lot of things to like about the resiliency of this Giants team thus far. Dealing with the injuries, dealing with some of the challenges going on the road in Philly. And Philly's done what they do. They find ways to win. They find ways to evolve and change throughout the game. They've done a great job of that today, too. This will be a big one if they can punch this one in the end zone.
Saquon Barkley lined up in the slot on this play. 2nd and 2. Hurts quick throw. He's going over there.
Touchdown, yes! Dallas Goedert.
A new career high for Dallas Goedert. His 6th touchdown on the year.
Yeah, this is a tosser concept. 2 slants. He's the outside slant. On moving the safety. It's a great mismatch with his size and length. First guy slant, outside guy slant. Hence the term tosser to slants, and there you go. Find the outside one. Good matchup. Exactly what the Giants didn't want to happen, but exactly what the Eagles did want to happen. Great conversion.
Perfect way to finish the half. Elliott's actually going up the blitz. Dallas Goedert, who came in 5th in the league in receiving touchdowns, adds a new career high for him. And the Eagles go 58 yards in 2.5 minutes. And of course, National Tight End Day. What a perfect segue for Goddard. say fly, Eagles fly. With 21 seconds to go, Giants will get the ball to start the third quarter, so they will have that.
When did National Tight Ends Day become a thing? I wasn't so sure. I know they asked for it because tight ends can get a little whiny. I had a bunch of whiny tight ends in my career. So are they looking for some special? They want National Quarterbacks Day.
I think that's every day.
Or is that when you tell that? I knew you were going to say that. That's what the parents tell their kids. What's a parent? Well, it's always the thing. It's always kids' day. It's always, like, I love these tight ends, especially this guy. Dallas got what a security blanket for Jalen Hurts. Such a threat. They really miss him when he's out. You can see why. When he's in, he's got the twitchiness, got the length. Pretty impressive radio target. Jalen Hurts continuing this awesome passing season that he's got another 132 rating today at this point. Super efficient. Doing everything it takes to get the job done.
So both quarterbacks playing really well. Jalen Hurts is doing his thing. He's completing 75% of his passes. 2 touchdowns for him today. The Eagles have their biggest lead at 21-10. The Giants will welcome to take the game here, I would think, from the 35. But we go to the half down by 11, and Dart, who... What do you think so far, Tom? You know, with all that happened with the horrific injury to Cam Scattergood, 6 of 9, 73 yards, touchdown. He looks poised, though.
It's hard to expect at this age and without Scattergood or without Neighbors, this highly surgical passing attack just kind of relies on a lot of loose plays, which are hard to consistently come up with, especially against a defense that has the championship experience that the Eagles have. And I knew the Eagles wouldn't be surprised by his abilities today like they were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago he had an amazing game. He's really played well, but his Giants find themselves down 21-10 at the break.
Yeah, we reached the first half.
We'll see what the Giants do with this opening drive. Could set the tone for this second half. Jackson Dart the first half. Just 73 yards and a touchdown. But manipulated the pocket, played well, 67% passing. And he'll get set to go. Trying to bring the Giants back here. On the return from Olszewski. Good seam up the middle, and it gets up into about the 35 as we go downstairs to Tom.
Well, Kevin, before you could ask him Brian Daboll a question, he began by saying that the entire Giants organization had all their thoughts, concerns, and prayers are with Cam Scattergood after that very difficult injury, and that he was proud of the way his team was rallying together to respond. Offensively, he said he was pleased with the way Jackson Dart was playing in this game, but that the team needs to make more contested catches. Defensively, he said we need to get some stops, and in particular on special teams, need to do better at covering kicks and take advantage of better field position moving forward, guys.
Yeah, the contested catches. Slayton had his hands on the ball field. Johnson had a perfect pass in the glass, going to go to a touchdown. Now it's got a lot of time, no one open. Pressure, looking around, and he is sacked.
He's got 5 eligible receivers. Clearly he hit him early, but his eye level came down, and the offensive line, here we go, they got matched. So again, sometimes when you see those guys open early, you just got to cut it loose. You can't hold it out there for 8 seconds. Impossible for the offensive line to hold up for that long.
He doesn't got good pressure, but it's been an issue for them this year, their pass rush. They come on a strong dart this way. London Robinson makes the catch and to the 35-yard line. That is his first catch of the day. We go downstairs to Aaron.
That sack by Jalen Carter is exactly what Eagles coach Nick Sirianni wanted to see. Of course, before the game, he told us, I want to see that physical brand of football, especially when defending Jackson Dart. Love the way his team did in the first half. He said that'll be the emphasis in the second. But of course, I was sarcastic and said, hey, what happened to your run game? How do you get it going? Very happy to see the steady gains. He said that'll set us up great here in the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure they feel good with that part of the game. 147 rush yards. 3rd and 10 Giants. Dart looks, no one's there. Just nobody open out, fires across his body, incomplete. I mean, there was no Giant that had any space at all, and it's 4th and 10.
Very good coverage. In one aspect of this, Philly, what they've done today, played much more zone coverage than they did in the first meeting. First meeting, it was like 65 or 60% man. Today, thus far, 85% zone. And what does that allow them to do? They play their zone, but they keep their eyes in the backfield for those Jackson Dart scrambles, which they were certain they didn't want to get beat on today.
Jamie Dillon to punt. Line drive quick. Gibson. To the 23. And the Eagles want the first possession of the second half. 21-10, they win it. Here comes Jalen Hurts and company.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Ford.
The Giants took Saquon Barkley second overall, became a star in New York, dealt with a couple of injuries, and then, of course, ended up in Philadelphia and ended up with the Lombardi Trophy with a historic season for the Eagles. And, you know, it's amazing. The run game has been so quiet this year. They've been a different team, but today, Saquon has outgained his entire former team, 131-118. That's a great graphic right there. The Eagles have kind of changed things week to week with their offense. They've had a little different look each week. Today's been Barkley's day, though. He carries to the right side. And, you know, coming into today, kind of nowhere to run for Saquon, which is so different than we've normally seen, right? Little video game Pac-Man-esque. Right, you're looking, here come the defenders. He's in a corner. Stack box, as you said, Tom, a lot more this year. Defenses are ready for him. Contact behind the line, a monster difference this year. The line not playing as well when he was. And then rush yards per attempt because of all of that. And he turned 3.3. It's a couple yards down. All those factors are reasons why the run game hasn't appeared until today. Second down.
Got the first out. Yes.
His first catch of the day goes for 15 yards.
Very good read by Hurts finding Smith. He's been a go-to guy, really the only receiver who's caught a ball today. Wide open on the in-cut belt and there on the tackle. Good coverage read, good anticipation. I always love when Jalen Hurts cuts it loose quickly. You don't like when his time to throw gets extended for a long period. It's a lot of stress on his O-line. When he's dealing, ball comes out of his hand.
To the 15. More on Saquon with EA.
Well, Cap, as you can only imagine, Saquon's locker stall has been surrounded by reporters asking him what's wrong with the run game. He actually, put it all on himself in the last 7 weeks, saying, it's on me. I need to do a better job of not taking negative runs. He actually said, I know it's going to turn. I know it's close. So now he's a psychic. I spoke to his left tackle, Jordan Mailata, this week that said, it's not on him, it's on us. Like Tom said, the injuries, the way defenses are playing them. And he said, honestly, we haven't been physical enough.
Changing today. Blitz coming. Hurts rolling away. Throws to Devontae Smith and couldn't hang on. Pretty good throw. Smith had it. Couldn't complete the catch there. And so it brings up a third down and 4. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, right? And, I love what you said. You go back to your 2007 50 touchdown year. He had this amazing 2,000-yard year, and everyone expects that now all the time.
Yeah, and that's the outlier. It's not the new normal. The new normal is kind of what he's done over the course of his entire career, which has been a great running back, but that 2,000 yards is crazy. I threw 50 touchdowns one year. That wasn't my normal. I was normally around 30. So you have some of these years where everything comes together like it did for him last year. He has a record-breaking year, but it's not necessarily going to come back and be that way the next year. That's the reality.
Which hurts third down.
It's a first down. Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. 2013, he threw 55 touchdown passes. Every game, I would look down and like 7 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. It was just unbelievable. You look when he had Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker and Wes Welker and Julius Thomas. there's years where it just all comes together. The opponents don't know how to deal with you. You have all this incredible confidence, and then you have this great record-breaking year. That's what Saquon had last year. Now they're still a great team. They're finding lots of different ways to win, evolving as a coaching staff and as a playing group. They're very tough to beat at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts playing some of his best football as we get
Away game. Offense.
Good left side.
First down.
All right, penalties a factor. Tom, we should point out for the Giants, we knew the secondary was depleted coming in. Well, we showed you late in the first half, Cordell Flott, remember he got hit with his own teammate. He's being evaluated for concussion. He's still not back. So the Giants have Deontay Banks and Corey Black, who's a first-year practice squad player who just got called up today. He doesn't have much experience. Those are your starting corners right now for New York.
Yeah, very tough. Dealing with Devontae Smith down here at the bottom, and that's Banks, former first-round pick. A lot of guys got to match up in man coverage. It's going to be tough to play man on this team the rest of the day.
It's Barkley to the game break time with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So the Bills have lost their last two. Josh Allen has never lost 3 games in a row. Dumps this one off to Khalil Shakir, who shakes out the tackle and makes a great move and is in for a 54-yard score. Bills in control, 26-3 over the Panthers. Step.
All right, Chris, appreciate it. So the Bills kind of resetting today in that AFC East with surprising New England at 5-2, and they beat Buffalo already. So that was a challenge. Miami, the Jets are already out of it. So it's a 2-team race. It's under 7. Some pressure. Has a man going. The ball is hit. It's completion to Calcaterra. He was trying to get it deep there, but Kayvon Thibodeau hit his arm to force the incompletion.
Very good pass defense. What they need to do, and a good hustle and effort by this team. Talking about swarming the ball in a play style. Thibodeau laying out. It's kind of effort you need when you're down 11. You've lost one of your good offensive players in Scatterboo. This defense got to pick up. They got a lot of pride on that side of the ball, too. Third and long.
Interference. Yeah.
Defense number 38. False place to describe the foul. Automatic. First down.
One-on-one on Cooper. It's just one of these stop routes, run downfield. Cooper's trying to push him by. And the ref just take call.
Tom, how hard is this for the Giants? I mean, Corey Black did not play the defensive snap in the league until 10 minutes
So
ago.
not only that, when you're on the practice squad, you're defending the offensive routes, and you're normally trying to just allow at practice a lot of those plays to be completed. You're not even trying to get up there and contest balls when you're on the practice squad. So now you're forced into a game. Now you got to beat this pass defense, and you get a little lazy with your technique. And that's what happens.
This coming Hurts is taking down. He got away from the three rusher. But Nacho came home to get him, and he will celebrate.
He celebrates when he wakes up out of bed in the morning, just like that. Just pops up, heads his way to the shower. But look at this, when you get a sack, Nacho just right there on the middle on Toth. Just an effort sack. Nice job. Kind of feeding off one another. That's what it's going to take. 2nd and 15, got him where you want him. Got to buckle down again. You know they're down some offensive weapons. They can't allow this thing to get out of hand.
Good Shipley is dead to rights. Well played that time. Abdul Carter saw it coming, blew up the play, and it's 3rd down.
One aspect of this run game I've seen today is more plays to the edge of the defense. Similar to what happened a lot last year. They really measured in last year a lot of gap runs, which were a lot of double team blocks on the inside, and they had a great outside sweep type presence last year. Many more of those today than I've seen throughout the season.
but gets pelted. And he's well short of the first down. It's Raheem Lane, another practice squad call. Giants are just pulling people off the streets to play in the secondary.
They've got to. Down to Debo and Holland to start today. Now down flat.
That is not great. Dexter Lawrence, who is a beast, nose tackle, a little slow to get off. Now the Giants get a hold. They'll force a field goal try here. Try to keep it a two-score game. A 40-yard try from Jake Elliott. It went off the post from 58 yards earlier today. This time is
Hey, the field goal. Yes.
Tomorrow on Fox.
Welcome back to Lincoln Financial Field here in Philadelphia. 24-10 Eagles lead. Giants won the first match of the season 2 weeks ago, and now the rematch here in Philly. There you see the scoring drive. Jake Elliott's field goal. Devontae Smith having another nice afternoon without A.J. Brown today. 6 catches, 84 yards. A couple on that drive. They're coming after a 183-yard gem career high last week for Devontae. He's had a heck of a year, not in the league receiving yards coming into today. And now the Giants try to get their offense jump started. Here's Singletary. He is all over the return. Well, you look at Jackson Darnold, what he's done. This is his fifth start in the league, and he's hit a lot of both sides. He really has. I mean, not bad for a guy just beginning his NFL career. 10 total touchdowns, first 4 career starts. Most by the Giants quarterback since 50, right? Then the running game. Tom's talked about the legs. 178 rush yards, first 4 starts. Giants quarterback hasn't done that in a long time. So he's using the dual threat. He's been good on third down. It's not too big for him right now. Now, obviously, what comes next, got to win games. That's going to be the important part. 2-2 this year so far. Here is Tracy. Giants fans are wondering what's the first time Tom Brady has laid eyes on Jackson Darnold. What do you think?
Well, very impressed. And again, we talked to him in a production meeting this week, and I asked, hey, it was kind of deflating the loss to Denver, but is there any positives to gain from it? He goes, you know what? We're not really into moral victories. And I was like, love that. And then he's talking about, I threw an interception, and he took accountability. And I was like, I love that. So if I look at the mental, emotional part of this game, I'm loving those things. The physical parts everyone can see every day, but behind the scenes, what are his teammates hearing? What are his coaches saying? He seems to have a lot of those things figured out for a young player.
Yeah, Tracy gets the first down. You mentioned in the first half about learning the right way under Brian Daboll. What do you mean by that?
He's in a system that is allowing him and teaching him the tools to be successful. And there's a difference. A lot of coaches teach plays. And the play is, okay, this is the play, run it. Another one is saying, this is the philosophy of what we're trying to do. And if you don't like that based on the play call we had, I'm going to allow you to adjust the call and get us into a better play. That autonomy allows quarterbacks to elevate the game. A lot like Manning, Breeze, myself. Some of these guys have played for a long time and are very successful.
Tracy gets it for 2. How many rookies, if any, quarterbacks have that full autonomy?
Yeah, not many. And I just think an issue in the NFL lately is the quarterback development. A lot of these young guys playing because now they're coming from lesser developed college systems where they're not asked to have autonomy. They're just running plays. Now you get them to the pro level, and that only experience is, hey, coach, what do you want me to do? Well, I would rather have a coach say, these are your toolkit. You get to be a Swiss Army knife to the line of scrimmage. Go make the best play possible.
Rifle throw, and that's incomplete to Slayton. As now Daniel Bellinger, we're told, has gone into the 10 for the Giants. I mean, they can't afford any more injuries. They've been using a lot of 2 tight ends. It's been a big part of their game today in the last couple of weeks. Bellinger now will get checked out. So the Giants shorthanded. 3rd and 8 coming up here. Johnson hangs on to a rocket, a dart from Dart, if you will, and that'll move the chains.
It'll take a bullseye.
That was an easy one.
Just darted right there. Look at the kind of pace that football. I love the spin. It just means he's super decisive. Oh, yeah, he drops back. Look at those eyes, locked in, reading the coverage. Oh, just playing it on his chest.
I think the other impressive thing about Dart, as you think about it, he's done this without Malik Neighbors. So that Dart's first start, Neighbors got hurt, so he hasn't even had that in his arsenal.
Well, yeah, now in this situation with 4 minutes left in the game, in the third quarter, and you're down 14, it becomes a passing game at this point. This is where you need your wide receiver one, Neighbors, to be in there, to have the production. If you're up 24-10, it's less important. If you're down 24-10, it's very important because the game transitions to a passing game, and that's when you need your passing threats.
Devin Singletary in the game at running back now. Zone read it or pivot to him. Looks like he goes for a short game. Well, we're going to tell you about a little World Series. We got some action here. Game 3 is tomorrow night at Dodger Stadium. 1-1. Blue Jays offense lost in Game 1. Yamamoto the complete game for the Dodgers Game 2. So we got a little juice. Dodgers going back-to-back. Blue Jays haven't won since Joe Carter's walk-off in 1993. There we go. Also, 37 Giants. That's at the worst possible time. It's the right guard, Greg Van Roten. Sometimes you line up against Jalen Carter, they'll have it to you.
That's a very intimidating guy to line up next to. Oh, God, he knows we're throwing. What do we do? We get a head start. We just jump. Oh, no. I mean, all the advantage I can get.
Oh, great awareness by Dart to get out and find his tight end and keep the drive alive.
Oh, yeah. Now instead of hitting that 3-iron that he hit on the earlier third down completion, it's like a little lob wedge. Drop it over the top, a little backspin. Drop it in there like a butterfly with sore legs. Right to Johnson. Perfect.
I've never heard that before.
Ooh.
It fits. That was pretty. And the run game gets absolutely destroyed. Cooper DeJean came in from the corner spot. I know you love DeJean.
I can't say enough about him. So he started, obviously, a rookie last year. They tried to make him safety. Realized, no, he's probably more of a nickel. Phenomenal rookie season. And then now he's playing perimeter corner. I watch him every week, and I'm more impressed. His physicality at the line of scrimmage, strength, quickness, long speed. He can do it all. This guy is an absolute stud. What a steal by Howie Roseman in last year's draft.
He gets some of the low start, sees it, gets rid of the far side, and then Robinson makes a catch. They bring up third down against his Vic Fangio defense. When they played the Giants 2 weeks ago, it was like non-stop blitz, non-stop man coverage, which they don't normally do. Today, they haven't blitzed nearly as much, and they play way more zone, so he's totally changed the game plan.
Totally adaptable coach, and he wants to put his players in the best position to succeed. We talked to Coach Sirianni. season. He's done an exceptional job getting on to this point.
Third and 7. It's caught! Wow! Devin Singletary reached down and get it, and the drive continues. Another third down conversion.
Love this play call by Brian Dable. We used to call this a Staubach route. All these linebackers are used to these running backs running 4-yard routes. Now he comes out of the backfield, kind of gives it a little shimmy at 4 yards, and then boom, down the red line. Linebackers aren't expecting it. Huge play. Another great conversion.
We've seen Dart with the howitzer on his drive. You see it with the touch. First and 10. Here's Dart. Pressure in his face, and I'm just going to throw that one away. Back to that conversion on the play of Singletary for 28.
These linebackers, they're used to covering just 4 or 5 yard routes. They're not into covering these downfield throws. So that little hesitation, stutter step freezes Dean long enough to get the separation down the field. Kind of a C throw by Dart, but an A+ catch by Singletary.
Good adjustment there.
Yeah, that's better. If that's more thrown better with a little more arc and pace, that's one that you can actually score a touchdown on.
Tyrone Tracy back in, 2nd and 10. Last minute of this third quarter. On the fake, and it's incomplete. Or in the sense of, I think he tried to get it to Theo Johnson, and there's a flag on the far sideline at the 8-yard line. Signal is on New York.
Downfield, maybe?
Jameis Winston trying to plead his case.
Jameis always has a few extra things to say.
Never at a loss for words.
No, but I love his, not quite youthful energy, but energy always positive. It's great for Jackson to have in that room, along with Russell Wilson as mentors to Dart as he's going through this rookie season.
Offense number 76. That penalty has declined. The result of the play is a third down.
They get John Roney in the left guard. The Eagles will decline it to make it a third down. So the Giants have converted the last 2 on this drive. Down by 14 points. This is, you would think, touchdown land for them.
Four-down territory. This field is very compressed. You got to look for your big targets. Johnson will run with the vertical separation he can find if he's not double covered.
Short blitz, and come with it. Dart in trouble. Gets away. Running through. Jalen trying to have a big game. He gets the one.
What a pass rush. Nothing Dart can do here. This is just a meeting at the quarterback. Look at this. The explosiveness, the burst to get off the line of scrimmage, and then Dart does a great job stepping through it, but then Hunt just folds back underneath.